Hello, everyone. We are going to talk about the awareness of National Education Policy 2020. As we know, the National Education Policy was released by the Government of India on 29 July 2020. So, as we know that 2025 is going on, so it has completed 5 years. Completely, it has completed 5 years. So the UGC guidelines, key initiatives, regulations framed after 2020 are aligned with the national education policy. Definitely, it is the vision of the education system. NEP recommendations seek to restructure the overall regulatory framework that shall boost India's move toward becoming a global knowledge superpower. It is aligned with the objectives of achieving Sustainable Development Goal 4, which ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunity for all by 2030. Friends, NEP consists of 66 pages, 27 chapters, and has been divided into 4 parts. The first part, one, is the related to the school education, and remaining 3 parts we can see part 2 is the higher education, part 3 the other key areas of focus, part 4 making it happen. So we are going to talk only about the part 2 and part 3 and part 4 in brief. So we can see here, in case of part 2, the chapter begins from 9 to 19. So all these chapters we shall discuss in brief. Similarly, in case of part 3, we shall talk about the chapter 20 to 24. And in case of part 4, that is making it happen, we shall discuss about chapter 25, 26, and 27. So all these chapters we shall discuss in brief only. So what part 2 says in chapter 9, it says that quality universities and colleges. So before 2020, some of the major problems were being faced by the higher education institutions are: the first one is a severely fragmented higher education ecosystem. That means uncoordinated, lacks integration across various dimensions. That means here the focus on fragmented, less emphasis on the development of cognitive skills and learning outcomes. Cognitive skill means acquiring knowledge, understanding through thoughts, experiences, and senses. A rigid separation of disciplines, that is a strict division between the different fields of study, such as science, arts, commerce, and engineering. Limited access, particularly in socio-economically disadvantaged areas. Limited access for these areas, we can say. So what does it mean? People living in poor or underdeveloped regions have fewer opportunities. Limited teachers and institutional autonomy, that restricted freedom to teaching, curriculum, assessment, research, and administrations. So next problems we are being faced by the HEI, the inadequate mechanism for merit-based career management and progression of the faculty and institution leaders. That means promotions, recognitions, and professional growth of teachers and academic administrations in education institutions were lacking. Lesser emphasis on research at most universities and colleges, lack of competitive peer review research, funding across disciplines, suboptimal governance and leadership of HEIs. That is not managed effectively, suboptimal, right? An ineffective regulatory system, large affiliating university resulting in lower standards of undergraduate educations. So NEP 2020 says that these are the some problems which are being faced by the HEI. So what this policy says, what the policy visualize a complete overhaul and re-engineering of the higher education system to overcome these challenges and thereby deliver high quality higher education with equity and inclusion. Friends, in NEP 2020, equity, access, and inclusion, these three words have been thoroughly used, right? So what is what is the policy vision that includes following key changes to the current ecosystem, right? So what are the changes which needs to be done? That the first one is moving towards a large multidisciplinary universities and colleges with at least one in or near the every districts that offer medium of instruction or programs in local or Indian languages. Moving towards a more multidisciplinary undergraduate educations, moving towards faculty and institutional autonomy, revamping curriculum, pedagogies, assessment and student support for enhancement or enhanced students' experiences, reaffirming the integrity of faculty and institutional leadership position through merit appointment and career progression based on teaching, research, and service. So this should be carried out, career progressions based on the teaching, research, and service. An establishment of National Research Foundation to fund outstanding peer-reviewed research and to actively seed research in the university and colleges. The next the changes which are needed in the HEI, governance of an HEI by high quality independent boards having academic and administrative autonomy, light but tight regulation by a single regulator for higher education. So all these points we shall also discuss in details in the next chapters. Increase access, equity, and inclusion. These are the very important things that everybody should get educations, right? Everybody is having equal right for educations through a range of measures, including a scholarship by private university for disadvantaged and unprivileged students, online education facilities, open distance learning, all infrastructure learning material accessible and available to learners with disabilities also. Next, we can see the next chapters, what you say, the institutional restructuring and consolidation. That in these chapters, we shall talk about the university should have more schools, that means multidisciplinary educations to they should they can pursue two academic programs simultaneously using open and distance learning and online to increase the gender enrollment ratio, gross enrollment ratio. So by 2040, all higher education institutions shall aim to become a multidisciplinary institutions. More HEI shall be established and developed in undeserved regions to ensure full access, equity, and inclusions. That means some areas are there where there is a lack of HEI. So in that areas also, the HEI should be established. That's why it said the undeserved regions, so that the people, everybody should get the access, equity, and inclusion, right? By 2030, there shall be at least one large multidisciplinary HEI in or near every district having medium of instruction in local Indian languages or bilingual. We can see already the UGC has framed the guidelines after 2020 that has been launched in September 2022, guidelines for transforming higher education institution into multidisciplinary institution. So what is the aim of this becoming the multidisciplinary is all the two programs, bringing two programs, academic programs simultaneously, right? More schools. So what is the target of this NEP 2020? To increase the gross enrollment ratio in HEI, including vocational education also. From normally it was 26.3% in 2018, and it has to be increased by 50% up to 2035. So this is the guidelines which have been framed by the University Grant Commission. What it says that Did novel thoughts come from all directions? That means more disciplines, right? Multidisciplinary education should be there. Next, we can see under this heading, under this chapter 10 only, institution will have the option to run open distance learning and online programs, provided they are formally approved or accredited by the relevant regulatory bodies, which may be the academic councils, right? In order to improve access, increase gross enrollment ratio, and provide opportunity for lifelong learning. SDG 4, Sustainable Development. So, so to increase the GER, gross enrollment ratio, that gross enrollment ratio is the total admissions, right? Divided by the number of admissions, number of students or number of admission having the age group in between 18 to 23. So what you said that suppose we are going to launch two programs simultaneously, in that case, three things should be taken care of. Though complete details are given these guidelines, it has been launched in 2022. Students can carry out two programs simultaneously. But there should not be overlap with class timings, and this is possible only for EG and PG programs, not for the PhD. Next, we can see that towards the more holistic and multidisciplinary education. So in this chapter, uh, mostly it has been focused by multiple entry, multiple exit options. And for that only, curriculum and credit for work framework for undergraduate programs have been developed. R&D cell has to be established. Community and students should also avail the credit for the community engagement, environmental educations. So what is HEI here? What its NEP says that HEI would offer multiple entry and exit options for programs having 3 or 4 year durations with multiple exit options. That means removing current rigid boundaries and creating new possibility for lifelong learners. So for this, academic bank of credit has to be established to store the credits digitally. So we can see for about the MEME system. This has been completely described in the guidelines, curriculum and credit framework for undergraduate programs, which has been launched on 7th December 2022. So UG certificate, UG diploma, 3 year UG degree. So all things have been given in these guidelines in details. So this is the guidelines which has been launched in the year 2022, curriculum and credit framework for undergraduate programs. So next points under this heading, under this chapter, we can see HEI will have a flexibility to offer different designs of master programs. That means the students who have got we have basically 3 years bachelor degree programs can have the 2 years master degree programs, right? But the second year will be devoted entirely for research. If the students have 4 year bachelor degree programs with research, in that case, 1 year master degree program can be completed by students. There may be 5 year integrated bachelor's or master programs. So for this, a research and development cell has to be established in the higher education institutions. A guideline has also been launched by the University Grant Commission on 4th March 2022. This is the guidelines for establishment of research and development cell in higher education institutions. We can see that the next point under the chapter 11, all HEIs shall include credit-based courses and projects in the area of community engagement and serving environmental education and value-based education. So what the NEP says that community engagements should have the curriculums, 2 credit course, right? 2 credit course, 2 credit 30 hours. How 30 hours? Suppose the semester is 15 weeks. In that case, 2 credit will become 30 hours. And in this case, what it says that So out of 30 hours, at least 50% the students should do their work in field. 50% in the field work, community engagement work should be in the field, at least 50%. So for that, the guidelines had also been launched by the University Grants Commission, guidelines for fostering social responsibility and community engagement in higher education mission in India. So for environmental education, there should be 4 credit course. And you can see here for this also guidelines has been launched by UGC, guidelines and curriculum framework for environmental education at undergraduate level in June 2023. So you can see here, complete syllabus of the environmental educations have been given in these guidelines. One can see. So out of 17 sustainable goals, 6 goals are directly linked with the environmental protection and resource conservations. So these are the guidelines, the fostering social responsibility and community engagement in higher education institution in India. And this guidelines is related to the environmental educations. So these 2 guidelines have all been launched. So next chapter we can see optimum learning environment and support for students. That means innovative pedagogies, student support facilities should be available in the library, labs, financial help, and internationalizations. These things we shall talk in this chapter. So first point, the curriculum, high quality pedagogies, continuous assessment, and student supports are the foundation of quality learning. Suitable resources and infrastructures such as quality libraries, classrooms, labs, technology, sports recreation area, student discussion spaces and dining areas should be available in the HEI. So for that, see, for the high innovative pedagogies, already guidelines have been formed, guidelines for innovative pedagogical approaches and evolution reforms, which have been launched in 2022. So these guidelines aims to suggest innovative pedagogies and develop the linkage of graduate attributes. These graduate attributes have been given in the NHQF, National Higher Education Qualification Framework, launched in May 2023. So we can see these are the guidelines which have been uh, framed by the University Grant Commissions, guidelines for innovative pedagogical approaches and evolution reform, and this is the NHEQF. The next we can see under this from the pedagogies, I have explained this, what is multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, or transdisciplinary. So multidisciplinary education means that it allows a student to learn and explore different subjects or courses from various disciplines. See, there is no rigid separation in disciplines. That means we can study, the students can study the courses from humanities, social sciences, science, mathematics, languages, and the arts. So there should not be rigid boundary. So multidisciplinary educations or multidisciplinary courses students can choose. The interdisciplinary education refers to the combination of 2 or more academic disciplines, for example, major minor degrees, right? So transdisciplinary education is an arrangement of the knowledge and skills only in one subject area. That is called a transdisciplinary. So now the next point we can see under this chapter, the choice-based credit system will be revised for instilling innovations and flexibility. CBCS allows a student to choose interdisciplinary, right? Interdisciplinary, that means in the same disciplinary, skill-oriented papers, even from other disciplines, according to their learning needs, interests, and aptitudes. So financial supports, right? Student support systems, you can see the students should get the financial supports, and it should be given for the SC, ST, OBC, and other SCDG. Free SIP and scholarship facilities should be provided as a student support system. Internalizations, what NEP 2020 says, quality residential facilities and on-campus support will be fostered to attain goal of global quality standards, which attract greater numbers of international students. MOU with foreign countries will be signed. Research collaboration should be carried out collaboration of research, right? So for this, guidelines for internationalization of higher education have been launched on 29 July 2021. And we are discussing this awareness NEP 2020 program in the 2025, right? This has already completed 5 years of journey. So during these 5 years, many rules and regulations, as I told you, guidelines, regulations, key initiatives have been taken by the university grant conditions to accomplish the policy of the national education. Next, we can see that the internationalization of higher education, as I told you in the previous slide, what is the objectives of this internationalization of higher education? To make India an attractive study destination for foreign students, right? To foster international competency in our faculty and students, to promote active linkage between the Indian and foreign higher education institutions, improve global ranking in internationalization indicators. So next chapter we can see the motivated, energized, and capable faculty. In this topic, we shall discuss about the facilities needed or facility required for our faculty members, student teacher ratio STR, or motivation of the faculty by the promotions, right? So the first point says that the most important factor in success of higher education institution is the quality and engagement of faculty. That should be taken care of. What is the quality of the faculty and how the faculty can be engaged in the different work, different activities of the HEI. Faculty motivation in terms of teaching, research, services in HEI remains far lower than the desired level. The NEP says, for this, it is required to ensure that each faculty member is happy, enthusiastic, engaged, and motivated towards advancing his or her students' institution and professions. All HEI will be equipped with the basic infrastructure and facilities, including clean drinking water, clean working toilets, blackboard, offices, teaching supplies, libraries, labs, and pleasant classrooms, spaces, and campus. These facilities are needed for the faculty members. Every classroom shall have access to latest educational technology. NEP says that enables better learning experiences. The next point we can see, student teacher issue STR should not be too high, right? So that teacher can give their timing for their research and other university activities. Experiences will be further incentivized through appropriate rewards, promotions, recognition, and movement in the institutional leadership, right? So what it further says, HEI will have clearly defined, independent and transparent processes and criteria for faculty recruitment. Whereas the current recruitment process uh, will continue a tenure track. That means the faculties are recruited for 1 year in the probation periods. So that is called a tenure track, and it should be continued. And it says there shall be a fast track promotion system for recognizing high impact research and contribution. If a faculty member is having the good research contributions, right, or in teaching, even in the university activities, the university or the HEI should go for the fast track promotion. So next point, what it says that to confirm employment after probation, peer and student reviews, innovation, teaching and pedagogies, quality and impact of research, professional development activities, and other forms of service to the institution and community to be considered whenever we are going to confirm the employment of a faculty member after probation periods. So these points should be taken care of. Excellent faculty with high academic and service credentials, as well as demonstrated leadership and management skills, will be identified early and trained through a ladder of leadership position. These very important parameters, right? So the faculty who are doing better, that should be identified and developed through the ladder of leadership positions. Leadership, the next point, what it says that under this heading, leadership positions shall not remain vacant unless there is a transition period. The next chapters we can see equity inclusion in higher education. Under this chapter, we shall talk about the SEDG, socio-economically disadvantaged group. What steps to be taken by the government and HEI to improve the access, equity, and inclusion. So here we can see there are many reasons for exclusion of SEDG. Many reasons. What actually NEP 2020 says, there are many reasons of SEDG exclusions. What were the exclusions? Exclusion may be due to lack of knowledge of higher educational opportunities, right? Financial constant also going to the reason for the exclusion. Admission processes. Geographical, suppose the HEIs are situated at higher distances. The location is not suitable. Language barriers, right? Poor employability of that particular programs or potential of many higher education programs and lack of appropriate student support mechanisms. These are also be the reasons for the exclusion of the educations. This policy requires to meet the goals of equitable access to quality education to all students with a special emphasis on SEDs. You can see the University Grant Commission have framed the guidelines, accessibility guidelines and standard for higher education institutions and university in June 2022. Guidelines to provide equitable opportunity for SEDG in the HEI in January 2024. So these two guidelines have been framed to remove or how we can the exclusions can be minimized, how the exclusion can be controlled. We can see these two guidelines and accessibility for these peoples, right? The symbol also indicates many things, and these are the guidelines for the SEDG. Next, the points we can see under this chapter, what steps have to be taken by the governments to decrease the exclusion or improve the inclusions. Earmarks funds for the education of SEDG, target for higher gross endowment ratio, enhance gender balance in admission, teaching in local and Indian languages or bilingually, a scholarship to SEDG, conduct outreach programs on higher education opportunities, a scholarship among SEDG. What are the what steps to be taken by our HEIs? Lesson cost and fee for pursuing higher education, provide financial assistance, a scholarship to SEDG, conduct outreach programs, make admission process more inclusive, make curriculum more inclusive, increase employability potentials, develop more degree courses taught in Indian language or bilingually, ensure all buildings and facilities are having wheelchair accessible and disabled friendly, develop degree courses for a student that come from the disadvantaged or educational background, provide counseling and mentoring support to those students, strictly enforce all no discrimination and anti-harassment rules should be there. Anti-harassment rules, develop institutional development plans. IDP is having very sensitive roles that contain a specific plan for action on increasing participation of patients. So these tools should be also taken care of. This should be incorporated in ID, institutional development. So next point we can see teacher education. So teacher education, we shall talk about the what action to be taken to the TEI, teacher education institution, the 4-year B.Ed programs. The faculty should participate in SWAM courses. Diksha, SWAM, as we know, a study wave of active learning for young aspiring minds. Diksha, the full form of Diksha, digital infrastructure for knowledge sharing. So under this chapter, what NEP says, To restore the prestige of teaching profession, and regulatory systems shall be empowered to take stringent action against substandard and dysfunctional teacher education institutions. Many TTI, teacher education institutions, are running. They are substandards. They don't have quality, proper quality for the training, right? That they do not meet the basic educational criteria. So what the NEP says, by 2030, only educationally sound, multidisciplinary, and integrated teacher education programs shall be imposed. So what it said that the 4-year integrated B.Ed offered by such multidisciplinary HI will by 2030 become a minimum degree qualification for school teachers. So we are here discussing a 4-year B.Ed, 4-year integrated B.Ed degree course. It will be the uh, minimum degree qualification criteria for a school teacher. A 2-year B.Ed for a student who have already received a bachelor degree, right? Bachelor degrees mean 3-year bachelor degree. They can go for the 2 years B.Ed programs. And the students who is already having 4-year UG degree can go for 1-year B.Ed programs. So what it says that in service, continuous professional development for college and university teachers will continue for quality education. Their faculty must participate in faculty development programs, seminars, conferences, right? Or as I told you, they should also carry out the various courses available on the SWAM and Diksha platform. The use of technology platform, SWAM and Diksha for online training of the teachers will be encouraged. NEP 2020 says. The next point we can see here, reimagining vocational educations, right? Vocational education. So as per 12th year, 5-year plan, 2012 to 2070 of Planning Commission of India. Now it has become Niti Aayog. Indian workforce in the age group of 19 to 25 were less than 5% who received formal vocational education. Whereas we can see in USA 52%, in Germany it is 75%, and South Korea it is greater than 96%. So the admission criteria for general higher education were also not designed to provide openings to students who had vocational education qualification, leaving them from mainstream or academic education. That means the the students were having the vocational education qualification like ITI, right? Bachelor vocational or many the vocational education courses, they are not able to take admission in the mainstream, right? So that problem was there before the 2020. So this led to complete lack of vertical mobility for students from the vocational education stream. Issue that has been addressed recently through the announcement of the National Skill Qualification Framework, though it was 2013. NSQF was launched in 2013, but it has been revised. We can see NSQF has been revised and notified on 6 June 2023 in suppression of its earlier notification 2013. And it shows and it says that it will ensure that every child at least should have one vocational courses, right? And more than that also. So this is the Gazette notification of the NSQF or National Education, National Council for Vocational Education and Training notifications, NSQF Framework 2023. This is also available on the website. Now we can see under this chapter what it says that at least 2025, by 2025, though 2025 August is going on, August 2025. So at least 50% of learners through school or higher education system shall have exposure to vocational education. This is alignment with the Sustainable Development Goal 4. Bachelor of Vocation degrees introduced in 2013 will continue to exist. that the skill universities, as we know, the skill universities are also giving the BVOC courses, DVOC, BVOC, and MVOC courses. So this will exist, but vocational courses will also be available to students enrolled in all other bachelor degree programs, including 4-year multidisciplinary bachelor programs. Different models of vocational education, apprenticeship will also be experimented by higher education. So we are discussing about the NEP 2020, but during 5 years of journey, what what are the various regulations or guidelines or initiatives have been taken by our university grant commissions has also been mentioned in these slides, right? For example, for apprenticeship, AEDP 2025 has come, right? Incubation center will be set up in higher education institution with partnership with industries. So this is the guidelines which had been launched in 2025, Apprenticeship Embedded Degree Program, AEDP. Now we can see the next topic, catalyzing quality academic research in all fields through a new National Research Foundation, NRF. NRF, a robust ecosystem of research important in the area of climate change, population dynamics, and management biotechnologies, NEP 2020 says. Research in the arts and humanities, along with the innovation in science and social sciences, are extremely important. We can see that the investment on research and innovation in India is only 0.69% of GDP as compared to 2.8% in the USA, 4.3% in Israel, and 4.2% in South Korea, right? So before 2020, what the NFV says that we have been carrying out the research, or we have been taking the projects from the different institutions, different organizations like DST, DAE, Department of Atomic Energy, DBT, ICAR, ICMR, and ICHR. So we are sending the project proposal to these organizations. But now, after the 5 years of NEP journey, what it says that the policy visualize an establishment of National Research Foundation, and the NRF, National Research Foundation, completely fund research in all disciplines. Remember it, this foundations which has been developed, which has been established, which name is Anusandhan National Research Foundation, ANRF. So if you are going to open this link, we shall get this topic, Convergence Research Center for Excellence, Bridging Social Sciences, Unity, Social Science and Technology. So this is applicable for all disciplines. ANRF. ANRF has been established by the Government of India. So next chapter we shall see the transforming the regulatory system for higher education. This is the vision of the NEP 2020. The four structure will be set up. NEP says 4 independent verticals within one umbrella. That is the Higher Education Commission of India, HECI. So first one is regulation, National Higher Education Regulatory Council, excluding medical and legal educations. So NHERC will set up the to regulate light but tight. So this will be covered. This will be regulated by NHERC, meaning that financial probity, good governance, and full online and offline self-disclosure of all finances, audits, procedures, infrastructure, faculty staffs, how many faculty staffs the HEI have, courses, what are the courses are being run in the HEI, and educational outcomes will be very effectively regulated, right? So this will be taken care of by the regulations. The first vertical. This information will be made available. All these light but tight, that is the self-disclosures, will be made available and uploaded by HEI on a public website maintained by NHERC and on the institution website also. So that is called a light but tight. Any complaints or grievances from stakeholders and other arising out of the information placed in public domain shall be adjudicated by the NHERC. Feedback from randomly, and what NHERC can do further, feedback from randomly selected students, including differently able students, at each HEI will be asked online to ensure valuable input at regular intervals. So this this can be uh, taken care of by the NHERC. Now, the second regulation, we can say, the second points, that is the accreditation, NAC accreditation council. So this is already available. All HEI will aim to attain highest level of accreditation, quality assurance, right? Over the next 15 years through the institution IDP. IDP consists of each and everything for this, that is called institution development plans. And NEP 2020 says that in the long run, accreditation will become a binary process as per the extent global practice. Binary, that means accredited and not aggregated, which had been implemented recently. National Assessment Councils was established in 1984 as autonomous institution of the University Grant Commissions. The third verticals will be the funding, higher education grant councils. This will carry out funding and financing for a scholarship, developmental funds for launching new focus areas or programs at higher education institutions. The fourth verticals will be the academic standards. That is called as general education councils. So framing learning outcomes or graduate attributes. A NHQF, National Higher Education Qualification Framework, will be formatted by GEC, General Education Council, and synchronized with the National Skill Qualification Form. So integration of vocational education into HEI, NHQF has been launched in May 2023. So GEC, what normally it does, will invite ICAR, VCI, NCTE, COA, NCVET, and this will act as a professional standard setting bodies. So what I'm trying to say here, the NEP or the guidelines which have been framed by our University Grant Commission, they have focused on some areas like the alignment, integration, intermingling, equivalence, right? So different guidelines available, as I told you in the previous slides. So this is the NHQF guideline, which has already been framed, already been launched also. So next point is the effective governance and leadership for HEI. This is very important. So in this topic, we shall talk about the board of governors, eminent expert committee to be constituted, institution development plan. So what this NEP says under this chapter, to create culture of excellence and innovation in HEI, effective governance and leadership is very, very important. Every HEI should have a good governance, good leadership, right? Then the HEI can get a better improvement in future. The feature of all world-class institutions globally has indeed been the existence of a strong self-governance and outstanding merit-based appointments of institution leaders. Merit-based appointments is very, very important things for the growth of any institutions. Achieving NAC in a phased manner over a period of 15 years, all HEI in India will aim to become independent self-governing institution, pursuing innovations and excellence. So board of governors are very important, have very important roles of any HEI. Shall be established consisting of group of highly qualified, competent and dedicated individuals, having proven capabilities and a strong sense of commitment to the institution, empowered to govern in the institution, free for external interference. So whatever the board of governors are going to be formed in the HEI, definitely the board of governors should have a competent, qualified, quality peoples. They should not have any interference by the external sources. Next points we can see, All HEI shall aim to become autonomous and have empowered BOG by 2035. BOG will be responsible for meeting all regulatory guidelines mandated by Higher Education Council of India through the National Higher Education Regulatory Council, because NHERC is going to see the regulation. All leadership position ahead of institution will be selected by eminent expert committee constituted by Board of Governors. Leadership changes will come with sufficient overlap, not remain vacant. The post, the higher post in the HEI, which may be university or colleges, should not remain vacant. Outstanding leaders will be identified and developed early through a ladder of leadership, even from the same HEI. Each institution will make a steady institution development plan and accordingly will develop initiative, assess their own progress, and reach the goals set therein. The ITP shall be prepared with the joint preparation of board members, institution leaders, faculty, students, and staff should also be involved in the formation of IDP, institution development plan. So the next part 3, other key areas of the focus of NEP 2020. So chapter 20 says professional education. See, here the NEP 2020 says that the stand-alone agriculture university, legal university, health science university, technical university, a stand-alone institution in their field shall aim to become multidisciplinary education. That means, suppose any university is having 8 schools, definitely the number of schools should be enhanced. That means multidisciplinary education should be provided and in the university or the colleges, and it should increase time to time. That's why offering holistic and multidisciplinary educations. All institutions offering either professional or general education will aim to gradually change into institutes cluster offering both seamlessly and integrated manner by 2030. Agriculture educations with allied disciplines. Under the allied disciplines, social science, horticulture, agronomy, right? Agriculture engineering will be revived. You see that in our country, agriculture university comprise approximately 9% of all university. NEP 2020 says in the country, enrollment in agriculture and allied sciences is less than 1% of all enrollment in higher education. So enrollment, you can see 1% as per NEP 2020. So what further it says that institution offering agriculture education must benefit the local community directly. One approach could be the set of agriculture technology park. What is the role of ATP? That means the university or the colleges who is going to who is going to open the having the agricultural facility for agricultural educations must have agricultural technology parks where the farmers, the local farmers can come there and get tested their soils and see all the facility should be available for the community people or the local farmers to promote technology incubation, dissemination, and promote sustainable methodology. Legal education needs to be competitive globally and timely delivery of the justice. The legal education will be bilingual for future lawyers and judges in English and language of the state in which institution is situated. Healthcare educations must be integrative. That is, all students of allopathic medical education must have a basic understanding of Ayurveda, yoga and naturopathy, Unani, Siddha and homeopathy, and vice versa. So the next chapter we can adult education and lifelong learning. That means here NEP 2020 focus for 100% literacy in our country. So National Council for Education Research and Training, NCERT, will develop an adult education curriculum framework consisting of at least 5 types of programs. So hence this will be the responsibility of the NCERT. So what are the 5 programs has been given here? Foundation literacy and numeracy, critical life skills, including financial literacy. The people should know. Many people are there, they are even illiterate in finance, digital Illiteracy is also there. So this should be removed. Our NEP says digital literacy, commercial skills, healthcare and awareness, child care and education, family welfare. Vocational skill development should also be taken care of with a view towards obtaining local employment. Basic educations, including preparatory, middle, and secondary stage equivalency, and continuing education, including a holistic adult education in arts, science, technology, culture, sports, and recreations. The framework would keep in mind whenever we are going to the NCERT is going to frame adult educational curriculums, that should be taken care of here while framing the curriculum. That adults in many cases will require rather different teaching learning methods compared to the materials than those designed for the children. That means whatever we are teaching in the university or colleges for adult educations, this method may be different. So this should be taken care of while framing the curriculum for the adult education. Next, we can see under this chapter a sustainable infrastructure for adult education center to be constructed in schools so that interested adult can use this center after school hours, and weekends. Public library space for adult education courses should also be available. Adult education center could also be included within other institutions like HEI, Vocational Training Center. States will also work with NGO and other communities to enhance the efforts toward literacy and adult education. So the NEP has also emphasis or stressed or focused on the adult education and lifelong learning. So next chapter we can see promotion of Indian languages, arts and culture. भारतीय भाषाओं और कला और संस्कृति पर NEP 2020 ने ध्यान दिया है. India, as we know, India is a treasure trove of culture, developed over thousands of years, and displayed in the form of arts, works of literature, custom, tradition, linguistic expression, art, craft, heritage sites, and more. So, for this, guidelines for the introduction of courses based on Indian heritage and culture, that is in universal human values, Vedic mathematics, yoga, Ayurveda, Sanskrit, Indian language, music, and classical dance has been launched or framed, and it's a launch in March 2023 by University Grant Commission on the occasion of the celebration of Amrit Mahotsav of India in Indian independence, and initiative named Let Us Know India, Aao Bharat Ko Jane was launched. Unfortunately, under this Indian languages are concerned, Indian languages have not received their due attention and care, NEP says, with the country losing over 220 languages in the last 50 years. UNESCO has declared 197 Indian languages are endangered. So we have to, what the NEP focus on the Indian languages, arts and cultures, which are endangered. So this is the guidelines which have been framed by the University Grant Commission. So under this chapter, we can see, moreover, even those languages of India that are not officially on such endangered list, such as 22 languages of 8 schedule of Constitution of India, are also facing serious difficulties on many fronts. So these are the Assamese, Bengali, Bodo, Dogri, Gujarati, Hindi, Kannada, Kashmiri, Konkani, Maithili, Malayalam, Manipuri, Marathi, Nepali, Oriya, Punjabi, Sanskrit, Santhali, Sindhi, Tamil, Telugu, and Urdu. These 22 languages are also facing serious difficulties in many fronts. So NEP says that early implementation of three-language formula to promote multilingualism is required. It will be the choice of states, regions, and of course the students themselves, so long as at least two of the three languages are native to India. Two languages are native to India whenever we are going to follow the three-language formula. HEI will be the mother tongue, local language as medium of instruction, and or other offer programs bilingually. in order to increase access and GR, gross enrollment ratio, and also to promote the strength, usage, and vibrancy of all Indian languages. So under this chapter, we can also see touring by students to different parts of the country will also lead to an understanding and appreciation of diversity, culture, tradition, and knowledge of different parts of India. Towards this direction, एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत टूरिंग पर फोकस किया है एनईपी 2020 ताकि हमारे स्टूडेंट जो हैं विभिन्न भारतीय भाषाओं, कला और संस्कृति को सीखें. 100 tourist destinations in the country will be identified, where the students will be sent to study these destinations and their history, scientific contribution, and tradition, etc. To make available the various Indian and foreign languages to the public, an Indian Institute of Translation and Interpretation will be established. Sanskrit will be mainstreamed, can be offered in school and HEI as one of the languages option in 3 language purpose. So in case of 3 language, Sanskrit should be brought as in the mainstream. Sanskrit will be connected relevant subjects such as mathematics, astronomy, philosophy, linguistics, and domestic and yoga, etc. So other points under this chapter we can see what NEP 2020 suggests. National Institute of Pali, Persian and Prakti will also be set up within a university campus. So NEP is also focusing that the university or the colleges should establish the national institute pertaining to this area. A scholarship for people of all ages to study Indian languages, arts, and culture with focused local masters and within the higher education system will be established. Technology use and integrations. New technology use and integration. NEP 2020 has also used, or we can say, also focused on the use of technology and integration in the courses. New technology involving artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchains, smart boards, handheld computing devices, adaptive computer testing. The students should know the exams which are going to be conducted through the computer, and other forms of education software and hardware will be provided to us in the classrooms and also for the research. An autonomous body, the National Educational Technology Forum, will be created to provide a platform for a free exchange of idea, NETF, on the use of technology to enhance learning, assessment, planning, administration for schools and higher education. Rashtriya Shaikshanik Pradyogiki Manch. This has been already established. We can, if you are going to click on this link, we can find out the NETF. This is the NETF. Comes from the Ministry of Education. The next point under the chapter we can see, teaching learning e-content will continue to be developed by all the states in all regional languages, as well as by the NCERT, CIT, CBSE, and National Institute of Open Schooling and other body institutions, and will be uploaded on the Diksha digital infrastructure for knowledge sharing platform. The platform may also be utilized for teachers' professional development through e-content. Teacher should also participate, should also carry out the courses mentioned or given in the Diksha and SWAYAM platforms. What NEP 2020 suggests. In the context of artificial intelligence, NRF may consider a three-pronged approach: advanced core AI research, development. AI NEP has also focused on the AI research, development and deploying application-based research, advancing international research efforts to address global challenges in areas of healthcare, agriculture, and climate change using artificial intelligence. University will aim to offer PhD and master programs in core areas such as machine learning as well as multidisciplines, artificial intelligence with many disciplines, many courses, right? And professional areas like healthcare, agriculture, and law. Data is a key fuel for AI-based technology, and it is critical to raise the awareness on issues, privacy laws and standards with the data handling and data protection. So the next point is say that AI needs to be used on clean and renewable energy, water conservation, sustainable farming, environmental preservation, and other green initiatives. So technology use and integration, the focus of the NEP-2020. Next chapter we can see online digital education, इंश्योरिंग इक्विटेबल यूज ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी, सबको समान शिक्षा मिले, इसके लिए ऑनलाइन डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजी पर ध्यान दिया गया है बाय एनईपी 2020 के द्वारा. During the considering the rise in epidemic in 2020 or 2019 December, epidemic pandemic, the online Zoom, Google Meet, etc., and digital video animation simulation, etc., must be optimized to meet the current and future challenges in providing quality education for all. As we faced during epidemics and pandemics in the 2020, teachers require suitable training to be an effective online educators, because it cannot be assumed that a good teacher, the teacher who is teaching in classrooms, may not be good in online teaching. So, for this, NEP states the following. What it says that pilot studies for online education, appropriate agencies such as NETF, CIET, NIS, IGNOS, IITs will be identified to conduct a series of pilot studies. Though in present situations, many lectures have come up, online facilities are there, as I told you, SWAM, Diksha, right? Digital infrastructures has focused on digital infrastructure, computer servers, data centers, and etc. Online teaching platforms and tools, appropriate existing e-learning platforms such as SWAM Diksha will be provided, though in the present situation it is available. Tools such as two-way video and two-way audio interface for holding online classes are a real necessity to the present pandemic has shown. So under this heading, the other points addressing the digital divide still persists a substantial selection. Digital divide, we can see here, still persists a substantial section of population whose digital access is highly limited, unprivileged area, right? The area who are which are located in remote. So in that case, what it suggests that existing mass media or such as television, radio, and community radio will be extensively used for telecast and broadcast. Visual lab facilities. So existing e-learning platforms such as Diksha, Swam Prabha will also be leveraged for creating virtual labs so that all students have equal access to quality, practical, and hands-on experience-based learning experience, including SCTG. So all these things are already been virtual labs. Many virtual labs have been framed by the IITs and other organizations. Training and incentive for the teachers. Teachers will undergo rigorous training in learning-centric pedagogy and how to become high-quality online content creators. Teachers should be given training so that they will be able to create the high-quality online content and themselves using online teaching platforms and tools. So under this heading, the next point is online assessment and examination. Appropriate bodies such as proposed National Assessment Center, PARAK, school boards, NTA, other identified bodies will design and implement assessment framework. PARAK, the full form of PARAK, as you know, Performance Assessment Review and Analysis of Knowledge for Holistic Development. It is an independent unit of NCERT. Blended mode of learning. Consider the importance of face-to-face or in-person learning. Different effective models of blended learning will be identified for application of different subjects. See, different subjects, suppose mathematics, history, geography, art, science, technical subjects. So different subjects have different mode of teaching. So in that case, it should be taken care of. That's why it says that blended learning will be identified for application of different subjects, because different subject, different mode of teaching. Laying down the standards, the teaching, the quality of content should be standardized. A research on online digital education emerges. NETF, as we have seen in the previous slides, shall set up the standards of content, technology, and pedagogy for online digital teacher. This will help to formulate guidelines for e-learning materials. The next part we can see part 4, making it happen. Extending the Central Advisory Board of Education, CAB. So, after achieving successful implementers of this policy, NEP policy, the policy recommends strengthening and empowering of CAB, Central Advisory Board of Education. We shall be responsible for developing and revising the vision of education in country on a continuous basis, in close collaboration with the MHRD and the conferring apex bodies of the states. The CAB is in India oldest, highest advisory board of education. Established in 1920, it advises the central and state governments on education policy and their implementations. CAB plays a crucial role in fostering collaboration between the central and state governments and realm of area in the area of education. So it plays a major role. CAB plays a major role in between the center and the state. It is desirable that the Ministry of Human Resource Development be redesignated the Ministry of Education. It has been done. So during the 5 years of the journal, this policy NEPs suggest that MHRD is to be converted to MOE, which is already there, right? Ministry of Education. EGC comes under the Ministry of Education. So next point we can see financing affordable and quality education for all. Unfortunately, public expenditure on education in India has not come close to the recommended level of 6% of GDP. As invested by the 1968 policy, restated in the policy of 1986, further also reaffirmed in 1982, review by the policy. 6% of GDP has not been achieved, right? The expenditure on education. The current public, government, center or state expenditure on education in India has around 4.3% of GDP as per the 2017 and 18 and this is a budget expenditure. And only around 10% of the total government spending towards the education. The survey, economic surveys, 1718 says the center and state governments will work together to increase the public investment in education sector to reach 6% of GDP. NEP 2020 say. So next point we can see under this heading. This policy identified the following key long-term thrust area for financing to cultivate an education system. That means where we should invest. Universal provision of quality early childhood care education, ensuring fundamental literacy and numeracy, providing adequate and appropriate resourcing at school complexes and clusters, providing food and nutrition, breakfast, midday meals, investing teacher education, on continual professional development of the teachers, revamping college and university to foster excellence, cultivating research, extensive use of technology and online education. So under this heading, financing to stop commercials of education, light but tight regulatory approach that mandates, which I have already explained in the previous slide, and this the light but tight will be taken care of by the regulatory body, which is called NHERC. So the next and the last point is implementations. NEP 2020, what it says that NEP policy effectiveness depends on its implementation. Implementation needs multiple initiatives and actions taken by multiple bodies in a synchronized and systematic manner. These two words are very, very important. So implementation of the policy will be led by the various body, including MHRD, which is the Ministry of Education now, CAB, Union and State Governments, Education-related ministries, Department of Education, boards, NTA, right? The regulatory bodies of schools, higher education, NCERT, SCERT schools, NCI, along with timelines and plans. So this is very important. So next point we can see, it is important to implement the policy initiative in phased manner, as each policy point has several steps. We have seen in the previous slides that there are several steps which has to be implemented, but it is possible only it is going to be implemented in phase-wise, in phased manner. Each of which requires a previous step to be implemented successfully. Then the next steps will come. And definitely, during these 5 years, the August 2025 is going on. So as we know, the 29th July 2020, NEP 2020 was launched. So in between 5 years of journey, our University Grant Commission has launched many regulations, many guidelines, and taken many initiatives to implement the NEP, or we can say alignment with the alignment of NEP for NEP 2020. So here what is said that since education is a concurrent subjects, it will need careful planning, joint monitoring, and collaborative implementation with the center and the states. Because it is a concurrent subject, yearly joint reviews of progress of implementation of policy in accordance with the target sets for each action will be conducted by designated teams constituted by MHRD and the states. The reviews will be shared with CAB. Right? In the last line, what NEP says that the decade of 2030 and 40, the entire policy will be an operational norms, following which another comprehensive review will be undertaken. So in between, NEP this says that all the policies, right, will be implemented. It should be in fully operational mode in between the 2030 and 40. So this is all about the NEP 2020 policy. Thank you.